Well, hello there. Welcome to the Alex Gem Experience, the ACE podcast, which is all about our metabolism this week. Indeed. Now, I know what happens. I know when you hear the word metabolism, you're thinking fat loss, right? You're thinking energy levels and so on and so forth. And you are partially correct, but we're about to delve in deep and really show you, firstly, so that you understand what metabolism is. We're going to go over the many benefits that derive by increasing and looking after our metabolism. We're going to uncover the sort of things that ruin our metabolism, and we're going to uncover the numerous things that we can incorporate into our daily and weekly lifestyles to really boost and increase our metabolism, and therefore experience all the benefits that arise from such actions. So let's dive in. So what is our metabolism? So our metabolism describes all the chemical reactions involved in both maintaining the living state of cells and organisms. Okay, it's like I said earlier, it's partially about weight loss and things like how cells are built, how they store things, and how they break down fat. Now that's just a component within it. But your metabolism is obviously referring to the process your body uses to kind of make and burn energy from the food in which we eat. So that's what we're mainly looking at here. How are our diets, what we eat, and also what we're exposed to in terms of the environment, and how do these sort of things kind of impact upon our cells, and that's our metabolic rate. So let's dive in. So to be honest with you, our metabolism is involved in a whole host of different, important but yet fundamental functions, such as digestion, our breathing, our ability to think coherently, our blood circulation, and also things like keeping ourselves warm or staying cool in certain predicaments. So, these are some really, really essential primary functions that go a long way in terms of how it makes us feel, how it makes us function and operate. So, yes, of course, I know the main reason why you're probably listening to this is, yes, Alex, teach me. How can I increase my metabolism and help my physical shape? So I will not disappoint, I promise. So, our metabolism does help us to burn more calories. And it not only can increase weight loss, but it can also lead to us maintaining a healthy weight. But there's more to it in terms of our metabolism. So there's something called our cellular metabolism. And this is essentially the sum total of all our controlled chemical reactions that occur within our cells. Okay? So our metabolism consists of hundreds of different reactions within these cells. And, we are a continuous flow of matter and energy. And now there are two types of metabolism. So we've got what's called, and I'm just going to briefly introduce you to these because you don't need to know them too extensively. You've got our anabolic metabolism, which is all about the reactions that join our molecules together and building new ones. So it's kind of like the building blocks, if you will, for creating and strengthening, consolidating our existing molecules. And you've also got the second type, which is called catabolic metabolism, which is the exact opposite, which is about how our reactions break down molecules and making sure they prune apart. It's responsible for destroying the connections that we have within our molecules, and that's essential in certain instances as well. So individual molecules that we eat through the foods that we choose to consume, they soon enter our cells, right, after traveling within our bloodstream. But once these molecules enter our cell, then metabolic reactions kind of take over, transforming these molecules into who we are, essentially. So what does that essentially mean to us? Well, our cell's metabolism, essentially referring to here the internal network of chemical reactions, it takes molecules from the environment, from what we eat, for example, and all kinds of external factors involved in the environment as well, and it breaks them down. And it transforms them into pieces of the cells itself. So essentially, me paraphrasing my own words here, it really means what molecules we ingest and take in through foods that we eat, how do they kind of turn into and morph into our actual cells and become part of us. That's what it does, okay? And that can be good or bad, depending on what we're eating, of course. And I'll move on to that later. So, I mean, it may use these molecules to replace worn-out parts, for example. So if there are parts within our cells that aren't functioning properly, then the foods that we eat can kind of replace and supplant the kind of weak and decrepit molecules within our cells. Or it can also build energy molecules, which will act as fuel and essentially power our cells for future activities, such as supporting the brain function and supporting with muscular contractions and these sort of things, okay? So just to make it clear, the foods we eat massively affect our metabolism. So let's dive in. So before I give you all the different ways in which you can support your metabolism, let me list the benefits, why we want to look after our metabolism. What's the point? So firstly, obviously, weight loss and maintaining weight loss, we get that. But also what it does for our energy levels. It actually makes us less fatigued and tired. And if we're less fatigued and tired, we can therefore be more productive. We can think more coherently, more logically. And this in turn improves our self-esteem, to be honest with you. So this isn't necessarily proven by science, but it's just based on my study of neuroscience, psychology, how our body responds to things. I personally believe that if we boost our metabolic rate, then essentially we become more energized, more focused, and this in turn affects our self-esteem, enables us to be more disciplined. Okay? It definitely improves our mood, that's for sure. It makes us more laid back because it supports the proper functioning within our nervous system. So our nervous system is comprised of neurotransmitters and hormones, okay? We have over 100 different neurotransmitters and hormones that circulate within our brain and also within our body. So you're talking about things like excitatory neurotransmitters like dopamine, which is both excitatory and inhibitory. You're talking about norepinephrine and epinephrine, which essentially stimulates our sympathetic nervous system, our fight or flight response, which is really important for our ability to focus and pay attention as well as reacting appropriately to like stressful or really like emergency situations. And it also supports the appropriate function of inhibitory neurotransmitters such as serotonin and so on and so forth, and GABA, which is a significant inhibitory neurotransmitter, enabling us to kind of relax and recuperate. Okay, so we've got all these really important processes that our metabolism supports with. It goes beyond and above just weight loss here. And obviously, if you're in a better mood, you're more likely to make better choices in terms of your eating, in terms of going to the gym, in terms of supplementing and sleeping well, and these sorts of things, okay? So if it improves our mood, if it makes us more laid back, if it supports our nervous system, then it also supports our immunity and our digestive functioning, to be honest with you. Because if our neurotransmitters are operating appropriately and we're balanced, and we're within homeostasis, then essentially we're going to make better choices. We're going to feel better. It's not going to lead to extreme amounts of stress and imbalance in neurotransmitters. If there's an imbalance in our neurotransmitters, then it can ruin our ability to sleep well. It can make us more restless, more impulsive. It can impair the function of our immune system, digestive system, like I outlined. Like, these are really important things here. It can ruin our ability to focus. It can ruin our attention span. It can make us more likely to suffer from ADHD. So really, this is so significant, guys. So look after your metabolism and therefore look after your mental focus, your self-esteem. It can lead to greater productivity, like I already outlined. It clears the body of toxins, so it improves the efficacy of our bowel movements. It makes us sweat more. It enables us to urinate more often, which is great for detoxification. And detoxification is linked to improving our metabolism. And along the same vein, it also improves our blood circulation. So this is really important because it speeds the absorption and also our transportation of micronutrients, really essential nutrients like magnesium, zinc, calcium, potassium, and so on. And not only that, when we look after our blood circulation, it also ensures that we are less prone to suffer from all kinds of like cardiovascular disease, heart disease, reduce our ability to suffer from strokes and things like this. So it really goes above and beyond just weight loss here, guys. And on a side note, by improving our blood circulation, it also enables us to keep our hands and feet warmer. Now you're thinking, why is that such a big difference apart from making us feel better? Well, we're able to sleep better when our hands and when our feet are warmer. So indirectly, you can be improving the quality of your sleep by improving your blood circulation. There's a little bonus on the side, if you will. So those are the many different benefits that arrive from that. It can actually make us feel younger as well, and not just feel younger, but look younger. Yes, it rejuvenates the skin. It increases our energy levels, therefore making us feel and look younger. I mean, does it get much more important than this, guys? These are some of the most important things we could ever wish for ourselves. And now I'm about to list the many different benefits, the many different ways in which we can stimulate and boost our metabolic rate. So, firstly, ensuring that we get moderate to high amounts of protein in our eating program. Okay, because eating food can increase our metabolism for quite a few hours, to be honest with you, because it's caused by extra calories required to digest, absorb, and process the nutrients that we're eating in our meals. So, if we're eating protein, then we also require more calories. Our body needs to work harder in order to digest and absorb and to utilize these proteins, okay? So we actually can burn a few calories every time we eat a meal that's relatively high in protein, okay? Don't overdo it. Me personally, I like to fluctuate between a ketogenic lifestyle and also a low-carb diet. So I like to pretty much have moderate to relatively high protein throughout the year. To be honest with you, if we eat more proteins, then our bodies have to work harder to digest these proteins. And if that's what's happening, then digesting is the most physically taxing things we could possibly do. It's more physically taxing than actually exercising or even having sex, for that matter. That's how much energy we need to digest our food, guys. Protein causes the largest rise in our metabolic rate. Okay, you need to understand that. So eating protein has been shown to help us feel more full. It satiates us and it prevents us from overeating, to be honest with you. And overeating directly counteracts our desire to stimulate our metabolic rate. So when we eat more protein, we reduce and drop our metabolism. No, complete opposite. When we eat our protein, it can actually reduce the fall in our metabolic rate, and therefore help to activate and stimulate fat loss. This is primarily because eating protein reduces muscle loss. Okay, so a high protein diet enables us to, it's the building blocks of muscle here. So this is a common side effect to dieting. So when we diet and when we significantly reduce our calories, especially for a sustained period of time, it can sometimes, if we do it ineffectively, it can lead to us losing muscle rather than fat sometimes. And that's why it's important to boost our levels of protein in our diet. Okay, so generally, eating more protein can boost our metabolism so that we can burn more calories and therefore also eat less. And along the same vein, another way in which we can boost our metabolic rate is to eat spicy foods. Things like peppers. They contain a substance called capsaicin, and this boosts our metabolism. So I know it doesn't seem a lot, But eating peppers can actually burn around 10 additional calories every single time you eat them. Okay, I know you're saying, well, hey, Alex, 10 calories. Dude, give me a break. But if you imagine this adds up. For instance, say if you had some kind of peppers or something spicy once a day, you're looking at 70 calories a week. Now, pardon my math, but we're looking at about 300 or so calories a month. That's a lot, guys. That turns out to be quite a bit. And so every little matters as it relates to maintaining our weight and for boosting our metabolism, for that matter. So, when you eat peppers, you know the physiological effects. It makes you sweat more. It heats us up. It makes us feel more refreshed, more awake after the initial struggle, of course. And it can lead to a slight advantage when it's combined with other like metabolic boosting strategies, like the many that I'm already outlining here. So look to add a spice or pepper to your meals as a way of boosting your metabolism and burning those extra few calories every time you sit down to have a meal. Okay. That's essentially it done in terms of eating. Now we're also going to look at the importance of keeping hydrated. So we want to generally replace sugary drinks with water, because that immediately reduces our caloric intake. Don't get me wrong, like drinking water can also temporarily speed up our metabolism, but for about an hour or so. So it's not a massive boost, it's not a significant boost, but like I said earlier, when I was speaking about spicy foods, every little bit tots up. If you're eating a few spicy meals a week, if you're drinking water very well, keeping hydrated throughout the week, it all adds up, guys. And all these small things tot up and will make a big difference to your metabolism in the long run. So you can also boost the amount of calories you burn and your metabolic rate by actually drinking cold water more often, as your body uses energy to heat itself up, to increase its body temperature. So when you're drinking cold water, your body has to work hard to kind of to warm up this cold water, if you will, and your body has to adapt to the freezing cold water, and therefore it burns more calories. So not only that, water can actually fill us up. Studies have now proven that drinking water a half hour before we eat can actually make us eat less. And me personally, I like to drink water first thing in the morning, unless I'm doing some kind of dry fasting. And also, I like to have water, a big glass of water, 15 minutes before and after I have one of my main meals. It makes me consume fewer calories, and it fills me up that little bit more. So apart from keeping hydrated, let's look at exercising. So there are a couple of really cool techniques that you can apply in terms of your exercise program as well, to help you significantly boost your metabolism now. So I'm not talking about little improvements. These are significant game changers here. So firstly, we're looking at doing HIIT training. So high intensity interval training here. This is all about quick, intense, explosive bursts of activity followed by brief moments of rest. So imagine sprinting for 30 seconds and then taking it easy for 30 seconds and then sprinting again for 30 seconds or 20 seconds for that matter, and then resting for 20, 30 seconds. This is extremely effective here, guys. It can help you burn so much more fat by increasing your metabolic rate, even after your workout has finished. If you were to go for a slow run for about an hour, you might burn more calories during the actual workout itself, but it does nothing for your metabolic rate, okay? So you're not going to burn more calories when at rest. Whereas if you partake in high intensity training, you can burn calories at rest after your workout for a few hours thereafter. So it's really significant, guys. So we're talking about sprinting. We're talking about, even if you were, say, swing 1 or 2 laps really quickly, and then take it easy for 2 or 3 laps, and then sprint again for 2-3 laps, and so on and so forth. Play around alternating this. You can also do it on the cross trainer. You can do it in utilizing what's called Tabata in your workout. So jumping between different exercises, really pushing it and then calming down and resting for a minute or so. Really, really effective stuff, guys. So look to mix up your exercise routine, add a few high intensity workouts every week and watch what it will do to your metabolic rate and how you're able to burn fat. Really, really effective stuff, I must say. So similar to explosive, really fast movements for short periods of time, it's also really important to incorporate resistance training. So we're looking at hypertrophy here, increasing your muscle mass and essentially lifting heavy weights. Really, really effective stuff, guys, because muscle is more metabolically active than fat. And building muscle can increase our metabolism. This essentially means that we will burn more calories every single day, even at rest, simply by building lean muscle mass. So look to lift weights as it will help us to retain muscle and combat any drop in our metabolism that occurs during weight loss. So say if you're dieting, if you're used to a caloric deficit, like lifting heavy weights can help you to gain and to keep your muscle mass and therefore boost your metabolic rate and therefore boost your ability to burn fat. And still look good by having that extra bit of muscle. So look to increase your resistance training, especially when you're dieting. I'm not too fond of the term dieting, but we'll use that for efficiency reasons here. So really, resistance training should be a main staple in maintaining our weight loss. Should be a main staple in our exercise program. Personally, I like to do cardio after my resistance training as it helps us to hold on to more muscle mass this way, as opposed to, say, going for a run for 20, 30 minutes and then lifting some weights thereafter. So make sure that you're doing your weights first and then doing your cardio after. Really, really effective stuff here. Now, I'm talking about some really complex physical things that we should be doing, like high-intensity interval training and resistance training. But there are also some really, let's say, easy things we can incorporate into our physical lifestyle that can still improve our metabolism. And I'm talking about making sure you stand up more. So not only am I talking about the improvements of what it will do to our metabolism, but to be honest with you, sitting down for too long, too often, is really bad for our health. It really is. Like long periods of sitting down burn fewer calories and can lead to weight gain here. And it's, like I said earlier, it's horrendous for our posture. So, for instance, here's something you can do. Simply an afternoon of standing up at work can burn an extra 174 calories every day. That's quite substantial, guys. So instead of sitting in your office, sitting on your desk for several hours, doing your emails, doing your work and what have you, it's good to make sure you can stand up every chance you get. So, for example, if you have a desk job, an office job, like here are some strategies you can implement. You can try standing up for short periods to break up the monotony of sitting down for a sustained period of time. You can invest in a standing desk, so which teaches you to stand up whilst you do your work. You can go for walks during your breaks or your lunches rather than sitting down eating, for example. And when you're talking with your colleagues at work, you can stand instead of simply sitting down. These are some small tweaks you can do to your daily lifestyle to really improve your health and your metabolism. And speaking about improving your health, this is probably the most significant for our overall health and our metabolic rate. And it's all about sleeping well. Because a lack of sleep is actually linked to major increases in obesity, major increases in stroke, heart disease, diabetes. And speaking about diabetes and obesity, this is how poor sleep can affect us, guys. Because when we sleep, it helps to regulate two key hormones, and that's leptin and ghrelin. So leptin is a hormone. It's made by our fat cells, and it also decreases our appetite, and it controls our overall metabolic level. So leptin is really, really important, and we help to balance out and enhance our leptin levels by sleeping well. This is crucial. And on the flip side of things, when we don't sleep well, we produce too much ghrelin, which is the hunger hormone. This increases our appetite. And when we don't sleep well, not only does ghrelin runs amok, and it essentially makes us not only overeat, but it also makes us want to eat more of the wrong foods, like the highly processed, highly refined foods, highly sugary foods, high carbohydrate foods, high glycemic index foods, the bad stuff, the stuff we want to steer clear of. And that's what leads to obesity and really supports all kinds of diseases and heart diseases and strokes, and even things like age-related illnesses like Alzheimer's and dementia, guys. So this is so important here. Look after your hormones. Look after your brain function suffers when you don't sleep well. And we're going through an epidemic here where people, it's been proven. I think the average, you might want to look this up because I might get the statistics slightly off here. But many years ago, the average sleeping span used to be about 6.5 hours, which is still way too less. We should be aiming to sleep between 7 to 9 hours every day. And this day and age, it's even less. It's now at 6 hours. The average person sleeps 6 hours or less every single day. And you can't catch up on sleep, guys. So if you're thinking you're going to sleep horrendously throughout the week and catch up on the weekend, it doesn't quite work that way. You're doing yourself a massive disservice to your productivity. You're lacking your performance and increased ability to lead to cancerous cells in your body by not sleeping well. So it's really important. So a lack of sleep is linked to an increased blood sugar levels, cortisol levels, leads to an increase in our insulin resistance. And when our insulin resistance suffers, it leads to our pancreas producing more insulin, more glucose, as a means to try and force ourselves that aren't functioning properly anymore. It tries to force ourselves to take in this glucose and this insulin. And it leads to a dysfunction in our cells. Our cells end up having way too much sugar in it, and it also leads to more glucose, more sugars, spending time in our bloodstream, which is not good for our health at all. Both insulin resistance and high blood sugar levels are linked to higher risk of developing type 2 diabetes. So you can see how all these different things are linked. So be careful, guys. A lack of sleep decreases the calories we burn. It changes the way we process sugar. It disrupts our appetite regulating hormones, like I said about leptin and ghrelin. So please ensure that you are sleeping well, guys. It doesn't get much more important than that. Now, I spoke about the foods we can eat. I spoke about how we can exercise. I spoke about things like standing up where we can. I spoke about ensuring that we sleep well. There are just a few more things that you start to utilize to improve your metabolic rate. Those are drinking things like green tea and oolong tea. So these teas actually have been shown to increase our metabolism by about 4 to 5%. I know it doesn't sound a lot, but like I said earlier, if you mix in the green teas, the oolong teas with your spices, with keeping hydrated, drinking cold water, and a couple of other things that I'm going to outline in a moment, it really starts to rev the metabolism, guys. It really starts to enable you to improve upon all these health benefits that I outlined at the start of this podcast. So yes, drink more teas, especially green teas, because these teas help to convert some of the fat stored in our bodies into free fatty acids, which may actually increase fat burning. So really take this seriously, guys. And to be honest, these teas, well, especially if you get it naturally, these teas can be really good for our weight loss and our weight maintenance. Because especially as it relates to green tea, the main component, the main powerful antioxidant in green tea is an antioxidant called EGCG, epigallocatechin-free gallate. Okay, now it's a hell of a mouthful, I must say. But EGCG has been shown scientifically to help preserve our memory, support our memory, improve our cognitive functioning, really significant stuff. And it also stimulates thermogenesis, which is the creation of our brown fat, which is good fat in our bodies. It helps us to burn more fats, burn more calories. increases our metabolism and so on and so forth. So EGCG is fantastic for our metabolism, for burning extra calories, for improving longevity. We can live longer by benefiting from this antioxidant. So really start to enjoy your green teas, especially matcha green tea. It's the most potent form of green tea. And we're dropping serious knowledge in this podcast, not gonna lie. And along the same vein as green tea, we're talking about caffeine, and coffee is another great way in which we can quite significantly boost our metabolism, to be honest with you. In moderation though, please folks, in moderation, just with everything here. So studies now show that the caffeine in coffee can boost our metabolism by about 3 to 11%. It promotes fat burning, guys. It stimulates thermogenesis, giving off heat to the environment, essentially. It enables us to, this is another benefit that derives from it. Caffeine can actually enable us to push ourselves more during our workouts. So it enables us to be more explosive during our HIIT workouts or during our resistance training. And because it enables us to go that extra mile without thinking as though we're doing so. Okay, really important stuff here. But be careful, because if you have caffeine too late in the day, especially later in the afternoon, it can impact the quality of your sleep. And like I said earlier, sleep is one of the best things we can do for our metabolic rate and our overall health, to be honest with you. So be careful with when you choose to consume caffeine. But the benefits of drinking coffee on our metabolism seems to be more effective on people who are already quite lean. So studies have shown that it can increase fat burning by close to 30% for those people who are lean, but only 10% for people who are obese. So it still has a big effect, but not as substantial if you are a lean person to begin with. So overall, drinking coffee massively improves our metabolism, helping us to burn more calories, lose more weight, push ourselves during our workouts, and so on and so forth. The last benefit I have for us is to do with fats. Yes, certain fats that we have can really improve our metabolism. I'm talking about coconut oil, okay, and also MCT oil, which I'll talk about in a moment. So unlike other saturated fats, coconut oil is quite high in medium chain fatty acids. And this is really important because medium chain fats increase our metabolism more than long chain fats, such as your butters and your meats and so on and so forth, and eggs and so on. So I put forth what's called bulletproof coffee. Bulletproof coffee contains, essentially it's about having black coffee beans, but incorporating things like coconut oil, which is a saturated fat, like I said, which contains MCTs. And it also contains butter. Think of like Kerrygold butter, ghee butter, grass-fed butter, essentially, because that can give you a boost as well. You can benefit from the long-chain fatty acids, but more importantly, you want the coconut oil, you want the MCT oil. And you can actually buy MCT oil on its own. MCT oils contain medium-length chains, guys. It's called triglycerides. It's essentially, to be honest, what it says in the name, it's shorter in terms of its length. So MCTs are more easily digested and contain many health benefits that are linked to our body processes, to supporting how our body processes these fats. So MCT oil is actually extracted from coconut oil. So 50% of fat in coconut oil actually comes from MCTs themselves. So I like to have about a spoonful of MCT in my coffee when I've broken my fast, that is. I also like to add a spoonful of coconut oil. Be careful because it is very high in calories as well, coconut oil. And I like a teaspoon of butter as well, Kerrygold butter or ghee butter. I mix that with my coffees. It improves the duration that the coffee lasts. And it's less of a spike in terms of our energy levels. It depends what you want to do. Like if you want good energy for several hours, then I like to have bulletproof coffee. If you want a quick burst, but then a relatively quick turnaround and downfall in our energy levels, like for example, say if you need to quickly go and have a workout, then I'll have a normal black coffee, for example. So those are some cheeky tips to start benefiting. So research has found that medium chain fats have increased our metabolism by up to 12%, as opposed to long chain fats, which only increased by like 4%. So it does make a big difference, to be honest with you. My last little tip for you is not to eat too late at night, because when you eat too late at night, it ruins our body's functions. It can actually inhibit the quality of our sleep, and that counteracts our what we want to do as it relates to our metabolic rate. So be careful not to eat massive meals, especially too late at night. So don't go to bed too hungry or too full, is essentially. So lastly, I want to talk about what can actually ruin our metabolism. I'm talking about oxidative stress. Toxins from the environment, guys, and from the processed foods that we eat can lead to oxidative stress. It can lead to the formation of free radicals, and it can lead to us damaging our hormone receptors. And these are the hormone receptors that help to regulate our body's metabolism. So, toxins from the environment, air pollutants, pesticides, exposing yourself to these harmful elements and toxins can impact our metabolism. Having a high sugary diet, a high carb diet, will negatively affect our health and our metabolism, essentially leading to the negatives that I've outlined. We're not going to improve our blood circulation. We're not going to have a balance in our hormones in the nervous system. It could negatively impact our immune system, our digestive system. It can make us more restless. It can make us less productive, less efficient, and so on and so forth. And also stress. So stress is a form of oxidative stress as well. Stress causes our hormone cortisol to rise, which can harm our metabolism as well. So every time there is a boost in our cortisol, which stress does, it also counteracts our metabolism. So making us overeat, which also causes our metabolism to slow down. So, most people unfortunately spend 70% of their entire lives living in chronic stress. Probably because to do with work, probably because of living in city life, and all the stresses, the oxidative stress, the environmental stress, the air pollutants, the pesticides, the emotional turmoil, overtraining, being inactive, not moving around enough, sitting down for too long. These sorts of things all build up, all leads to high inflammation, chronic inflammation, and also chronic fatigue. Therefore leading to all kinds of diseases, illnesses, ailments, and the dysfunctioning of our metabolism. So it's really important stuff, guys. Please take our metabolism seriously. See how many of these things, that the list that I gave you for improving your metabolism, that you can start to implement within your lifestyle now. If you want to know more about your health, if you want to know more about becoming happier, developing more inner peace, improving the function of your neurotransmitters, improving your brain function, changing your habits, stimulating neurogenesis and neuroplasticity, the creation of new brain cells, helping your brain restructure, rewire itself so you can come up with new beliefs, new thought patterns, believe in yourself, increase your self-esteem. If you want to sleep better, if you want to succeed in your life more, if you want to have more energy, if you want to be more productive, if you want to get more done and accomplish more goals, then you might want to get my book, firstly, The Art of Power, Happiness and Success. You can get that at Amazon. You can also get it at my store at www.alexgemstore.com. You might want to get my elite course, guys. All you need to do is go to my website at www.alexgem.com. You can get my free ebook there as well, 10 Steps to Excellence. That also teaches us about how to activate and boost our metabolism, and a whole range of different and diverse benefits as well. Get that for free. Just under that, it says join PHS course today. Click that button. Scroll to the bottom of that page. You'll see the testimonials, but more importantly, you'll see the course outline. You'll see there's different sections involved in my course, and there are different segments included in these sections. Some of these segments are actually set to preview. So all you need to do is click where it says preview. Those are the ones that I've actually given you for free. So you get the worksheets for free, which cost me hundreds of pounds and hours of learning from other experts, my mentors. It's truly brilliant, these worksheets, guys. I'm giving them for free in these specific segments. I'm giving you free videos, free audios, free written word, so you can learn in a whole multitude of different ways to help absorb it from your short-term knowledge to your long-term memory. So you can. The reason why I'm giving this for free is to show you the value that I'm providing here, guys. Invest in the course and therefore invest in yourself. I offer a 30-day money-back guarantee as well. So then you've got that extra reassurance just in case you're more speculative, you're not sure, you're quite worried, you're a bit fearful. It's okay, guys. I'm all about helping you with your self-esteem, making you more confident, teaching you how to improve the quality of your life. You know, I'm someone who's gone from being obese in my teenage years, in my adolescence, and also in my early adult years as well. I've also massively improved the quality of my health. You know, I used to have sleep problems, immunity problems because I was living in stress. I was struggling because of fear. No, stress is a synonym for fear. It's a euphemism for fear. You know, I'm far more meditative. I'm far more peaceful. I'm far more loving. I'm so much more happy-go-lucky. I'm able to focus more on my goals and accomplish more and just be more in the present moment. It's a beautiful thing. And I'll teach you how to do that as well at this course. You know, I'm also someone who's gone from having one source of income, you know, having no real hope in terms of my financial future. And I don't have to work for a living now. I own 3 successful and growing businesses. And I also own a growing property portfolio. My portfolio alone enables me not to work. I don't have to work. I don't have to do what I do right now. I do it because I love it and because of obviously the financial gain that it gives me as well, enabling me to give to my charities, to create new products, new services to help support you guys in a multitude of different ways. Like, I'll teach you how to improve the quality of your life every way. We work on our mindset, developing an open, abundant mindset, a more flexible brain. I'll teach you how to do that. Including this course, I offer free amazing bonuses, hours of exclusive video footage, podcast material, and 100 audio segments teaching you how to support your nervous system, how to improve the habits, your subconscious programs, how to live your best life, to extract the best out of yourself. So you'll definitely want to join and get that course. The whole package is worth between $1,200 to $2,000. I'm not charging anywhere near that because I genuinely want you to have the option to join us here and enable yourself to maximize your potential. You might want to join my Power Mastermind. Wow, talk about significant change. I'd love it if I were able to meet you and work with you live. Like, proximity and immersion are everything, guys. And not just being close to me and learning from me in person, but at these masterminds, I only take 20 fully committed, dedicated people who take their happiness, their inner peace, their levels of success seriously. And we form great social networks. We work together. We stay in touch. We hold each other accountable. And it's unbelievable. You essentially have 20 mentors and you mentor others. It's a whole chain of helping yourself, helping others. You feel so much more connected. You're more likely to stick to your goals and to enjoy your path and where you're heading because you're part of a group. Now, if you can't join us at the Power Mastermind live version, I've actually turned the mastermind into a virtual course. You can get that underneath where you got my course at my website, the Power, Happiness and Success course. Just beneath that, you can see the Power Mastermind as well. There are 4 massive components and sections here. It take you through a journey of developing your existing strengths, adding fuel to your existing strengths, identifying what kind of lifestyle we want to live and why. We then uncover new routines, new activities we can incorporate. We uncover what routines, what activities we do on a daily or weekly basis that drain us of our energy. We're able to reschedule and restructure our lives. We also attack our fears, our biggest problems, our biggest stresses so that we can overcome them. Otherwise, we're going to keep getting the same kind of results we've got thus far. And at the end of it, we bring it all together, the Power Prioritization Plan, where we kind of bring together all the brilliant key learnings, the key insights, the key ideas that are worth implementing so that you leave here with an actual plan, an actual package that you can refer to in the future. Okay, this will enable you to stay on track, guys. So definitely join us at the Power Mastermind. You will love it. Amazing bonuses included. Go and check out the bonuses. You'll see for yourself. I'm so excited to work with you in the future. If you want to be mentored by me, you can do so. Again, go to my website, www.alexgem.com. Click where it says, in the top sections, just click where it says coaching. Choose the coaching package that works best for you. And, I really look forward to work with you in the future. You might want to join me on Instagram, guys. AlexGem_power. Follow me and follow my material. Find my channel on YouTube. Subscribe. Click the notification bell so you receive my weekly videos, episodes, podcasts. You're going to love that. What else might you want to join us on? Join me on Facebook. Find my page, Power, Happiness, Success, PHS. Find the page. You'll love it. Again, AlexGem_power. Find my page on Facebook. I'm everywhere, guys. I'm everywhere. I'm on Pinterest. I'm on Snapchat. If you scroll down to the bottom of my website, you will actually see all the different platforms I am on socially. So go follow me, check out my material, stay in touch, because it's all about indoctrinating yourself with these ideas, guys. It's not good enough just to listen to me once a week or once a month. You're really going to want to study this material meticulously, frequently, because that's what enables change. Because it takes between 66 days to 365 days for a pattern, a new habit, a new thought pattern, a new feedback loop to be deeply ingrained in your unconscious. So it takes a lot of work on your path, but it's totally worth it. Trust me. I've been able to transform my life and the lives of many, many people in a whole multitude of different ways. I help people improve their relationships. I help people increase their self-esteem. I help people make more money. I hate people. That's a bit harsh. I help people find their purpose in their lives, stay more focused. Oh God, what's going on? I hate people. I help people to find their flow, to enjoy what they do on a daily basis, so that they're less bored and therefore less negative in their life. I help people to overcome their stress response on a daily basis by helping them to restructure their lifestyles, their thought patterns, and so on and so forth. Come join me. I'll be so proud to work with you. Can't wait to work with you. Have a great day, and I'll see you soon, folks. Take care.